I don't know what kind of person you're. I am the kind of person that listens to a song for ever and ever, for like 7 times. So that's what's gonna happen today. I'm gonna put one song for almost 40 times because that's the way I enjoy a song. And then that's the music in the background. I hope you are as much as I am and that you enjoy as much as I enjoy the thing while doing something else that you can listen to the same beautiful song 40 times in a row. So, what we have in front of us is a quiz, I guess. Yes, it's a quiz. One of my favorite YouTubers. And before we get into that, let's get into um, spiritual development, personal development, mental health, um, a good diet balance, and physical exercise. That's the mix. When you mix all of them, you have a delicious or a horrible food, but it gets cooked, so there is no reverse for love. If you wanna know how good a love relationship can be with other person, you have to take care of mental health, physical exercise, a good diet, a gastronomical balance. What was the other two? Spiritual development and personal development. Spiritual development is kind of a subjective thing for some people because one of the functions of religions is to tell you, to help you, and to guide you when it comes to purify your mind. That's one of the functions. Whether Catholic and Christian religion don't follow that approach is totally secondary. It doesn't have anything to do with the function of a religion. It's called corruption and it is blatant. It is rampant corruption. But and one of the functions that I love the most of religion is that they guide you to find out that the destiny that you build your entire life is built upon the decisions that you make because you have one destiny that you cannot escape. And most of religions say you have been present in earlier lives, past lives, 800 million lives before, and you were here. And this time is the consequence of the past life, and you have to go through this to go to your destiny, and you know what your destiny will be, and there is only one way to get there, and there is no way to escape it. You have no you don't have that power to escape. You don't have that enough force to escape. Now I'm trying to remember something else. And once you go through this purifying mind to get to your destiny that only you know and only you can discover what it is going. Once all that happens, you should be prepared and you should have evolved as a human being in a personal development level. Personal development, well, through rituals. There's personal rituals and religious rituals. You choose the one that fits you better. I am gonna choose both. Music is a personal ritual, personal development ritual. Movies is a personal development ritual. Books is a personal development ritual. Yoga, other kind of training, or maybe physical exercise, less strict. Mm, yeah. So Those are the conditions. And so, if you cook all the ingredients, and keep in mind that you cannot trick love, you cannot trick the entity that allows your body to feel that expression of something else. You cannot be tricked. In my opinion, in my humble opinion, it is in God's hands to determine whether or not you are trying to cheat and tricking everybody. But since God has seen all the tricks and all the cheats, it doesn't matter. You cannot. Whether you try to trick yourself into believe something else is totally secondary. In any case, I want to emphasize into false happiness. I think I have become a very organized person, and from me you can tell that I'm a father of 7, and I have an ex-marriage. I divorced 7 times or 8 times, I don't remember. And with each marriage I have like 9 kids, 12 kids. It is the way it is, but I had to divorce because it didn't work anymore. So at this point in my life, I know something about it. I know something about love and how it behaves and how it works and how it happens. How to make it happen the way I want it to feel it. I want it to be in my life, in my body, in my mind, in my mouth. And so, but regardless of that, there is always this false definition of what love can be. There's always this false definition of how it feels. And I have a very strict definition that helps me keep on track and keep on the right track. Other people might say it's totally subjective what I'm about to say, but it is not. We will have to start by defining what God is. In other religions, in Sikhi, for example, which is the religion that I follow, I don't believe Christians, I don't believe Catholics, because they are false of the false, with their materialism trying to make the identity of a human being a total misery, and out of that total misery making a business with money for them to, win and earn their cut of the piece of the pie of a misery of someone. That's wrong. A very delicate level. And so Christianism is a little falsehood. Catholicism on that basis is also a little falsehood. And when I say God, I don't refer to a German guy with this German white supremacist Adolf Hitler defining drinking German beer, deciding what will happen in our societies because that is God. I don't say that. I don't buy that story. I don't believe that story. I don't think it is the way most Anglicans define it on London, because the Anglicanism is that you have to state that God is a person who's have a name, has a family name, belongs to the crown, and is the owner of everything. I don't believe that, sorry. I don't buy that, sorry. I'm talking about the spiritual development, purifying the mind, leaving behind the misery of other people, leaving behind the business that other more cruel people can ride on it, but also leaving behind Anglicanisms for that matter, because no, it's wrong. I'm talking about spiritual development, personal development, in the sense of God. But how come Anglicanism and Christianism both use the word God? What word if they don't know how to speak or how to read or how to write? They're trying to manifest what they think. But the man is part of a nature that needs to learn to develop and express his own virtues, not expressing thoughts, not expressing attitudes, not expressing reactions, only virtues. And to be a virtuosistic person in this life it takes a little while and extreme strict discipline to achieve something in life that you're proud, that you're happy to share with other people. So God, we will have to start by defining God the way it is supposed to be defined, and the way the word God is supposed to be defined is as follows. Divinity can be achieved when you are flexible enough in your conversations, in your attitudes, in your personal development, and in your communication as conscious as possible, conscious communication. And when you interact from that basis, then you are divine. Why? Because God trusts you all these faculties, and you have to give back in the form, in the shape of consciousness, right? It's a cycle. You can never be a failure outside of that cycle. So most people say, I don't believe in God. It doesn't matter. You are part of the cycle. He trusts you that many faculties, human faculties. The human life is an opportunity, but you start to give back as a sign of consciousness. You start to show your consciousness as years go by. You start to show maturity, you start to show intelligence, you start to show in intuition, six senses, seven senses, eight senses, some people. So it is a cycle, and that's divinity. If we define God as the most divine of all entities, and we be part of a divine cycle, then we're good to go with what I'm about to say about love. But before we go, let's explain divine again, so there are no questions, please. If you're new to this channel, and if you are new to what I say very often and don't know me for the past 10 years, and you don't know my music, and you are here just because of the algorithm and think this is about a channel about religion, I have a main channel about religion. Sooner or later I'm gonna be posting on the community section the link to that YouTube channel, which is about religion. But here we're talking about love. Regardless, I am who I am. There is no mystery about it. So let's define divine again in a different sense. Nanak dukia sabe sansar, se sukia lis naam adhar. Somebody claims to the prophet, the enlightened person, the one who took the holy scripture out from the ether and placed it on a paper and makes sense for the Akar and the Akarnama Karsala philosophy that comes from Ayurveda medicine, from Indian medicine, from Indian hospitals, from Buddhist thought. All this in Middle East, there is a notion that if you connect different parts of your mouth to different parts of your mind, you can heal constantly your body. And some ignorant people believe that's funny, but regardless of it, it is a truth, it's scientific proof of it. There's tons of, if you go to any hospital in India, that's what's gonna happen. They are gonna show you in the laboratory with the microscope, with a session talking to someone, is just a second nature. And somebody is claiming that the whole world is suffering. Nanak Dukia Shabe Sansar, and then Se Sukia Jisename Adhar. So there is a conclusion there, and it states that the only person really truly happy is the one who identifies the relationship of consciousness and trust as a cycle in the name of divinity because of that divinity, right? You could have simplified it by saying Nana Dukia Sabe Sansar Se Sukia Jis Nam Adhar, saying Ek Onkar. But since sometimes the function of religions is philosophical, you tend to elaborate a complex thought, you tend to define it, you tend to explain it, and then you formulate rules about it. So this can be the virtue of a person. This is my virtue. So it's not that I have false happiness in my life. Of course, I might have grief for certain things, but once you get into the cycle of divinity, and you don't want to care about anything else, you are free to do plenty of things. It liberates you, truly. And so most people say you're a very secure person. And it is like, if you drive and you pilot an airplane, of course you have to be an extremely secure person on yourself, because who knows? You know, you have to operate 700 computers at the same time, and plus that, make sure that the thing is in total equilibrium all the time. Mm, so this is is the fundamental virtue that you can have: divinity, the cycle of divinity. Based on that, we're gonna make this test quiz and see how it's gonna blend with me, an extremely secure person. And I tell you, I am an extremely secure person because of that cycle of divinity. But after this test, I'm gonna be the most insecure person effectively now. Psychologists can predict with 85% accuracy whether a relationship will last just by knowing your attachment style. Discover yours in few minutes. Presenter start quiz. I don't trust that. Oh, it works. Where should I send your results? What should I call you? Your partner? Oh my goodness, hasn't. My partner hasn't. My partner hasn't. My partner is divinity. My partner has trusted me infinity through infinity with such virtues in a human opportunity that my partner has always. Your partner hasn't replied to your text in 3 hours. My god, 3 hours? How can you keep count of how many hours? How can you keep count of that without going crazy, bro? No, I send a text and I wait a few minutes or even seconds, and if he doesn't answer in 3 seconds, 4 seconds, 5 seconds, I leave the phone and go make music, go enjoy life, go pray, go do yoga, go music, go kirtan, who knows. What's your first thought? Let's figure it out. Sending a message and it hasn't text in 3 hours. What's your first thought? Did I say something wrong? Are they upset with me? Not that much. We're not quite there yet. They're probably busy. Yeah, I always answer that to myself. They're probably busy. They'll reply when they can. Yes, absolutely. Good. I need some space. No! This is incredible. I shift between worried and relieved. They are not texting. Yes, absolutely. So I shift. No, I shift. How do you feel when a relationship starts getting serious? I haven't had that feeling in decades, but let's find out how I'm gonna feel based on the available answers. Finally, I've been waiting for this moment. I have a troll video trolling someone's song because let me see. Give me just 1 second. I have it here. I have a note to myself in which I stated that. Stay a little longer. You're moving too fast. I'm moving too fast. I'm moving too fast. Fuck, I have 10 months waiting for this relationship to have something, and you moving too fast. Finally, I've been waiting for this moment. I said that because it was a fun moment. I thought it was an extremely joke, extremely funny joke, but it is not me. Happy and excited to see where this goes? No. Slightly trapped? Things are moving too fast? No. That makes me laugh. Both thrilled and terrified at the same time? Yes. Both thrilled and terrified at the same time. You're doing great. Just few more questions to discover your attachment style. Presenter. Your ideal Friday night with your partner is no. First of all, I don't have plans on Friday. What I do on Fridays, and you might have seen that very often, is I get out of the office, I go to, I don't know, a resort. In this city there are, in that city there are multiple resorts with casino. You go to casino resort, you play some blackjack or you play some poker, and then you go to the spa, and then you get a massage, and then you get, I don't know, the sauna or the jacuzzi with that coworker, that fancy fun, or the fancy cool, or that you have some tension chemical, interesting, attractive relation linked together, and then you go. That's what I do. Um, that's what I do on Friday night. That happens at 6 p.m., 5 p.m., 6 p.m. Then I take a towel, dry myself, and get out of that building, take the car, go home, and I start Friday nights with me are not with me. It's Friday nights are me programming on the computer, either a video game for the website, for the official Megal website, or programming a weekly event. I don't know. I don't go outside at night, particularly on Fridays, because I am so scared. I panic a lot on Fridays at night because there's so much drunk people around, and I feel like everybody's gonna punch me, and because they are drunk. I have a trauma with that. I didn't remember, but yeah. Your ideal Friday night? No. And then after that, I do the writings for the fandom. I write the stories for the discography or the things that belong to the fandom. Your ideal Friday night with your partners? I don't have a plan on Friday. With your partner is together always. I want all their free time. Yes. Yes, that's mine. I can't, but that's mine. Balance. Sometimes together, sometimes with friends. No! Or yes, absolutely so. Yes, drunk. I need my own plans at least half the time. Motherfucker. I can never decide if I want them around or not. We nah. These answers. Mm, I want all the free time with friends. During an argument, yes, during an argument, I love it. During an argument, you typically need to fix it right now, or I can't function. Maybe talk it through calmly and find a solution. Yeah, maybe. I need space. We'll talk when I'm ready. Yes, absolutely so. I ping pong between desperately fixing it and running away. No. I need space. I think I need space. We'll talk when I'm ready. Am I recording? What the fuck? Yes. I think I need space. We'll talk when I'm ready. But it depends. Because during an argument, when, for example, somebody injures me, right? Give me just 1 second, please. It depends. Because sometimes when I have an argument, it can be because you are injuring divinity. And if you are injuring divinity, I have learned a hard lesson the hard way. Which is, if you feel indignant, you should shut up and wait. Before I was a little like, no, but on your name, and I will call you by all the words on your name, please listen to me. No, But on your name, please listen. I will always try to fix it. Not necessarily right now. But I have come to learn the lesson that if you feel indignant or if you feel injured or whatever, during an argument, you need to shut up. You need space. You need to talk once everything is settled down, or at least chilling. Halfway there, your personalized results are loading. Presenter. When someone shows genuine interest in you, oh my goodness, it's showing. It's preparing. When someone shows genuine interest in you, what is genuine interest in me? Let's find out. Thank God. I hope they don't change their mind. Let's wait. Nice. Let's see if we're compatible. Thank God. I hope they don't change their mind. Yeah, because that forces me to remain as a divine person. That pushes me to be a divine person. That motivates me. That someone is showing genuine interest in me is like a pole. When you polarize yourself into positive and negative, and you place a pole to the ground. For example, we in this house we have a problem. All families have big problems, and we are no exception. But we have a problem because I built a recording studio in this house, not knowing many things about how this country manages electricity, and I am I graduated as cybersecurity engineer in network security. It was 5 years of university in that specific element of learning technical knowledge, and of course I have this double license. One is for digital information, which is networking security, the network in the sense of internet, extranet, intranet security in general, and software security, but also in electrical engineering. I graduated, so my diploma says electrical engineer and cyber security professional. And we have a problem in this house because when I built the recording studio, which is giant, is where we recorded almost 50 or 80% of the Phantom of the Opera, it consumes way more than it reports. And so they formulated a law that changes the restrictions that you have to have in your house in order for you to obtain energy through electrical means. And I don't know if that's the best example. Let's think of something else. Um, or maybe yes, maybe that's a good solution. Maybe that's a good example. And so the problem never showed, except the bill for electricity was rising almost over the clouds, was absurdly expensive, and I didn't understood why. And I had to go to the office and say, I don't have any financial problems. I have a certain financial stability. You can show my house show, but it turns out that it rings a bell of an emergency warning here, because it looks almost incoherent to me, this bill, and they explained to me the technical specifications that I had to follow, that the law has changed. And so I had to reformulate my life, and I had to start building the entire thing based on the technological restrictions that they impose to give you energy by electrical means. And while doing so, I have learned so many things. And one of them is that you cannot change your mind about someone without rejecting them first. And thank God, I hope they don't change their mind. Means I want to keep that person. I want to be next to that person. I want to feel that connection with that person. But the first impression is the one that matters forever. So hopefully, that first impression is always the impression that you have with that person. It's always the first impression. I don't know if I'm explaining correctly myself, but you always show your first impression. You always want to impress the same way. It requires the approach to divinity. Let's check the second answer. Nice. Let's see if we are compatible. This second answer is horrible because that shows that something is rotting inside you. Let's see if we are compatible sounds something like, I smell so horrible because I am rot, and my putrefaction are together with worms, so I am not sure if we can go along together, right? So no, that's horrible. Why? What do they want from me? No. Why? What do they want from me? To me, is a sign of hysteria. When somebody reacts involuntarily, the first involuntary reaction that everybody has is hysteria, prepotence, arrogance, neurotic patterns. No, that's horrible. That needs to. Guru saves the world by changing those things, destroying the defects. And that's one of the defects that the world needs to destroy by itself. I'm interested, but also looking for the exit. I'm interested, but also looking for the exit. Now, hey, your texting style. What the fuck? I don't have a texting style. And if I have a texting style, I don't know which it is. Sorry. In relationships, I text a lot and analyze the response time. No, I don't do that because you never know. You will never. It doesn't matter, and you will never know because it can be known. It can't be known, and it makes no sense to try it. No. I text when I have something to say. It's different. The correct sentence is I eat when I have hunger. I often forget to reply for hours or days. Yes, I have. It happens a lot to me. I always forget. There's always something that it's away from the fun that happens, and then I don't remember. Sorry. I overtext, then ghost, then text again. No, see, I often forget. When your partner wants to introduce you to their family, it has never happened. Nobody ever introduced me to their family because I am horrible. I don't know. Yes, this means they are serious about me. No, I don't think so. Sure, it's a natural next step. No. Already this feels like too much pressure. No. I want to meet them, but also want to cancel last minute. Sure, it's a natural step, not a natural next step. There is nothing that can be planned. There is no next steps. That's important. There are no next situations that you can predict, that you can invoke, that you can make happen. This is not technology in which you have to state that by defining the system, by explaining how the system behaves, formulating rules that, according to the rules that exist in the society, are the ones which are going to be available to handle the system you invented, you created, you assembled. It's the case of technology, but it's a natural step. It's a natural thing. Let's simplify. It's a natural thing. Sure, it's a natural thing. Almost done. 3 more questions until your breakthrough moment. Oh my goodness. Your biggest relationship fear is No, I don't think I have fear. I have trust. I trust my partner, my mom, Lillian, Julie. I trust them. They they trusted me this human opportunity with capabilities and things. That's something very special, and I try to give back, pay back the taxes by showing that I am conscious and that I am aware of what surrounds me. So I don't have necessarily a fear, but they leave me for someone better. Now, there is no one better than God, and the person who is in the track of divinity and the cycles of divinity cannot be replaced. There is no better or worse concept there. I don't really have relationship fears. No, I do have relationship fears. Losing myself and my independence. No, no, that's almost impossible. All of the above simultaneously. No, I don't really have relationship fears. Can be one. No, see, losing myself and my independence. See, how do you handle your partner's emotion? Sorry, I'm driving like a maniac here. How do you handle your partner's emotions? I absorb them and make them my responsibility. Somewhat, yes. I listen and support without taking them on. Emotions make me uncomfortable. I change the subject. No, that's not the thing. I either overengage or completely shut down. No. I listen and support without taking them on. I absorb them and make them my responsibility, like you're guilty of them, or like you wanna care for them. I listen and support without taking them on. I think B. I listen and support without taking them on. Perfect, your results are ready. One last step to unlock your attachment style. Presenter. Your ideal partner is someone who. My ideal partner is God. That tells you everything. Constantly reassures me of their love. Yes. Is open, consistent, and communicates well. Yes. Has their own life and doesn't need much from me. No. I honestly don't know what I want. No. But look, here there is a question in the air. Will I decide between B and A? And the obvious answer is A, because regardless of how open a person is, you cannot say, come and say hi, open your legs. Consistent and communicates well. Conscious communication is a religious concept in Sikhi that aims to purify your mind so that your surroundings are explained, are defined correctly, and so that you understand the laws that keeps them together, that keeps everything all glued together, and it can become an art, and it can become an experience of years of mastering concepts, years of mastering practices of personal development. So you cannot come and say, "Ah, my partner doesn't communicate correctly." That's Adolf Hitler right there. No, A, because we hate Adolf Hitler. Submit. Oh no. You have an anxious attachment style. You love deeply, but fear losing that love even more. O sea, I'm more scared than in love. You crave closeness, but worry it'll disappear. Somebody is called 911. I'm anxious. Somebody love me immediately. You crave, yeah, I crave it. I crave it. Give me some more attention. Closeness, but worry it'll disappear. You might overanalyze every text and interaction. You need more reassurance than others. That's false. Your biggest fear is abandonment. Maybe, yeah, why not? Here's the truth. Your capacity for love is your superpower. You just need to learn how to feel secure from within. Your next step, Get your free workbook to map out your patterns and build security. You need more reassurance than others. You crave closeness. I crave closeness. Sometimes I say, put me attention. Put me more attention. You might overanalyze every text and interaction. Yes, you have to. It's important to have this principle of good faith. I don't know what kind of person did this quiz, but you have to have the principle of good faith. You cannot come and say, oh, he sent a bad text message because he is a bad person. That's very American and Christian. But when you look at it from a different perspective, you start to understand that some people sometimes behave incorrectly because there is a good reason behind it. And you have to learn forgiveness. This quiz is partialized. You need more reassurance than others. No, I don't think so. I need reassurance on myself out of the cycle of divinity, yes. And that is what I do at 4 a.m. every day. Your biggest fear is abandonment, might be more like it, yeah. Start improving now. Well, in the next session, we're gonna check out this book, Relationship Inventory Workbook, and we will have so much fun filling it out, right? Bye. See you in the next one. I hope you enjoyed my defects and you've learned and see how to destruct them. Everybody's in the kitchen. There's noise. There's everything because it's the kitchen. Everything happens in the kitchen. So see you in the next one. Bye.